In the distance, a sudden explosion echoes one of the Ayaka Islands, leading the nearby town in a blaze. Jinji grabs Yukito as they head to the evacuation. Inu, the mayor of the city, helps them get in the ferry to evacuate. He assures them that their master Yanagi went to get their seniors. On the other side of the island, the master stands at the origin of the explosion as the lava flows around him. He faces a huge flame-type monster, and looking at its threat level, he is certain that this is his last job. All the while, Haruwaki manages to escape to another island, as he was carrying Ibuki, as both of them are injured badly. Many years have passed, and now Yukito is in his last year of middle school on the mainland, and he is staying at a foster home. One day he receives a letter from Inu, informing him that he is a close friend to his father Yanagi, and he will be taking guardianship of him as soon as he graduates middle school. As a result, he will attend high school back at his birthplace, the Ayaka Islands. Yukito doesn't remember who Inu is, then he decides to get some sleep. While sleeping, he dreams of the same dream he always have, where he is underwater, struggling alone. He wakes up with a different eye pattern, while the water in the bottle next to him moves violently. He graduates later, and his teacher stops him, and they say goodbye to each other, as he will return to the islands. Yukito recalls that everyone in the foster home treated him well, but it's his fault for being lonely, as he remembers a certain accident. Suddenly, he hears Jinji at the front of the school while drinking too much. Yukito doesn't recognize him, as he last saw him when he was a young kid. When Jinji approaches him with his drunken breath, Yukito pretends to be a different person and walks away. Jinji follows him to prove that he is the right person, then he pushes him off a bridge while into the river. Yukito's powers went berserk underwater, but Jinji uses a technique to stop it. Yukito is surprised of what just happened now, and Jinji allows his bag to swallow the young boy, using his strange ability. Later he regains consciousness on a boat, heading to the Ayaka Islands. The boat driver say hi to Yukito, and he comments on Jinji's craziness. Jinji introduces himself as an older brother to him, despite he doesn't remember. He suddenly notices a train moving on water, and the driver tells him that this train connects the all Ayaka Islands, as it is main transport method between the islands. Upon arriving, he is met by Momoko, who is the landlord of his childhood home, and together, they once lived like a family. Then Mr. Inu introduces himself as the mayor of the islands, and he will be his guardian. While going home, Mamaki gives him some information about the place, and a cute ball creature catches his attention, as it floats near the car's window. Upon arriving home, Yukito notices a picture of himself and his dad, and upon closer inspection, he doubts if that man is his biological father. Momoko brings some tea, and tell him that his father was an amazing lay master, which are some people that have strange abilities, like him and Jinji. Inu tells him that Jinji is Yanagi's third student, but the first two are very incredible. Hearing this, it offends Jinji, as he doesn't like being compared to his seniors. Momoko is certain that since Yukito is Yanagi's son, he must have been born with an amazing talent. He asks about his mother, and they didn't want to talk about it at first, but they explain that his father suddenly appeared one day with him, and he never before spoke of the mother. Inu informs him of his father's will, as he wished for him to grow up on the mainland, without the interference of the Ayaka Islands, and when it would be acceptable for them, bring him back. All of them don't know his reasons, but they did as he instructed, as they trust him. Yukito goes to his room, and the cute creature barges from the window, like a butterfly. Jinji comes in and explains that it is called Matama, and they are harmless ones, as they are all over the island. Jinji realizes that Yukito is very distant towards people, and in return, Yukito tells him about the bad incidents that happened in the past, because he can't control his powers, as they go berserk when his feelings are hurt, so he had to stay distant to not cause any harm to anyone. Yukito snaps at Jinji, as the guy ignored his backstory, and focused on his game console. Yukito goes on a night stroll, and he is met by a Matama with a strange behavior. It transforms into an evil water monster, then Jinji interferes and saves Yukito. He explains that this is called an Arimatama, and they are harmful, unlike the other ones. It was likely attracted to the gloomy and negative feelings that Yukito was emanating while walking. Jinji shows him what his lay mastery is capable of, then he chants and activates a fancy-looking ability. He hits the thing with his charged hand, causing it to dismantle. It rises again behind him, then he throws Yukito into the water belly of the Arimatama, as he tells him to show his abilities. He snaps again at Jinji, which made his powers go berserk, then he finishes off the monster from within, as he wants to get to Jinji. His powers try to attack Jinji, but he easily dispels them with his technique. Jinji tells him that he is terrified of his powers, and he offers to train him, so that he can control them. The Arimatama gradually disappears, as it has been purified. Jinji advises him to wear his heart on his sleeves, which triggers a memory of his past, that he had an older brother figure like Jinji. He smiles and drop-kicks Jinji into the water, for all the things he has done. Haruaki uses his powers of observation, and he learns of Yukito's arrival. On the other hand, Ibuki decides to call it a day, after a hard work with his subordinate. And that's the end of the video. Please tell me your opinion, and like the video. Take care, and stay tuned for the next episode.